Some weeks you feel unstoppable. You wake up early, you push through hard tasks, discipline feels almost easy. And then, without warning, that same discipline completely disappears. You feel drained, unmotivated, like your old self is gone. And most people panic here. They think they've failed, that they've lost their momentum for good. Here's what nobody tells you: you didn't lose anything, you just switched cycles. Growth doesn't happen in one continuous straight line. It happens in two alternating rhythms, a hard cycle and a soft cycle. And the people who actually build lasting success aren't the ones who grind nonstop. They're the ones who learned how to use both. Today, we're going to break down exactly what these two cycles are, why you need both, and how to use this rhythm on purpose instead of feeling confused every time it happens to you. Most self-improvement content sells you one message: push harder every single day, no exceptions. And for a while, that works. Then it doesn't. Here's why. Constant intensity without recovery isn't discipline. It's a slow motion burnout. Your focus decreases. Your motivation crashes. And worst of all, most people interpret that crash as personal failure. I lost my discipline. I'm lazy. I can't stick to anything. So they either force themselves to keep grinding through sheer willpower, which usually collapses harder later, or they quit completely, convinced the whole effort was wasted. Neither option is true. What actually happened is simpler. Your hard cycle ended and your soft cycle began, and you were never taught that the second one is just as necessary as the first. Real, sustainable growth isn't a straight upward line. It's a wave. And once you understand the shape of that wave, you stop fighting it and start using it. So let's define both cycles clearly, understand exactly what each one is for, and then look at how to move between them on purpose. The hard cycle is your intense high output phase. This is where discipline feels sharp, focus is high, and you're capable of pushing through difficult, uncomfortable work. Early mornings, tough workouts, deep focus study sessions, hard conversations you've been avoiding. This phase is where visible progress gets built. New habits form here. Skills sharpen here. This is the version of you that finishes the project, hits the deadline, shows up even when it's inconvenient. But here's the part people miss. The hard cycle was never meant to last forever. It's meant to be intense and temporary, a focused sprint, not a permanent lifestyle. Trying to stay in hard cycle mode indefinitely is exactly what leads to the crash we just talked about. The hard cycle builds the structure. It's not designed to maintain it forever on its own. The soft cycle is your recovery and integration phase, and this is the part almost nobody respects. This is when your energy naturally drops, your motivation feels quieter, and your body and mind ask for rest, reflection, and slower rhythms. People often label this phase as falling off or losing discipline. In reality, it's doing something essential: integration. Growth doesn't happen only while you're pushing. It happens afterward too, while your mind processes and absorbs everything the hard cycle just built. Muscles grow during rest, not just during the workout. Skills solidify during downtime, not just during practice. Ideas connect during quiet moments, not just during grinding focus. The soft cycle isn't the opposite of progress. It's a different, quieter kind of progress, and skipping it is exactly what causes people to burn out and abandon habits they were actually doing well with. The real skill isn't forcing yourself to stay in hard cycle mode forever. It's learning to recognize when your soft cycle has arrived, and instead of fighting it with guilt, working with it intentionally: lighter habits, gentler expectations, genuine rest, so you come back to your next hard cycle stronger, not depleted. Here's how this actually works in practice. During your hard cycle, lean fully into structure. Clear goals, early mornings, focused deep work, pushing through discomfort. This is your building phase. When you feel that intensity naturally fading, motivation softening, energy dipping. Don't panic and don't force it. Shift intentionally into your soft cycle. Lighter routines, more rest, reflection, lower pressure habits that keep you moving without demanding peak intensity. This isn't quitting. This is strategy. The goal isn't to eliminate the soft cycle. It's to stop being ashamed of it, stop mistaking it for failure, and instead use it as the quiet half of the same growth process. People who sustain success over years, not just weeks, are the ones who've learned to move between both cycles with intention, instead of only knowing one gear and burning out every time life demands the other. Let's bring everything together, because this single idea can completely change how you relate to your own motivation. For most of your life, you've probably been taught that discipline only counts when it's intense. Early mornings, constant pushing, no days off. And when that intensity naturally fades, which it always does, you've probably judged yourself for it. Called it laziness, called it failure, believed you'd lost your momentum for good. But now you know the truth. Growth was never meant to be one continuous straight line. It moves in a rhythm, a hard cycle, where you build structure, sharpen habits, and push through difficult, meaningful work, followed by a soft cycle where your mind and body quietly integrate everything that intensity just created. Both halves are doing real work. Neither one is optional, and neither one is better than the other. The hard cycle gives you momentum. The soft cycle gives that momentum somewhere to land, settle, and actually become part of who you are. Skip the hard cycle, and nothing new ever gets built. Skip the soft cycle, and everything you build eventually collapses under its own weight. Real, lasting growth has always required both, not one, forced to run forever. So the next time your intensity fades, don't panic and don't call it failure. Ask yourself instead, is this a soft cycle asking for space to integrate? And when energy and motivation naturally return, because they will, step back into your hard cycle with intention, not guilt, knowing exactly what that phase is for. This is the hidden rhythm behind everyone who has ever built something that actually lasted. Not endless grinding, not endless rest. A rhythm used on purpose. So tell me, which cycle are you in right now, and how does it feel to finally have a name for it? Write it in the comments below. Let's grow together. This is Time for Growth, and I'll see you in the next one.